Same with those on smaller modes of transportations like bikes.
Definitely blowing like all get out. So, hopefully it'll die down because, of course, with all the rain, we don't want the trees to be falling around.
So we batten down the hatches. My wife covers all her plants, and I cover the boat and the bike and everything else. And yeah, it's a chore when it comes.
It is a chore, and it looks like we'll have to keep those hatches battened down throughout the weekend. Our meteorologist Stephanie Omo is here. She's tracking those conditions for us. Hey, Steph.
Yeah, the wind's continuing to whip around. And as you mentioned, Annabelle, the threat will continue through the weekend. I want to go over some of the peak gusts that was recorded mainly earlier this morning and late last night. Browns Canyon, this is in Chatsworth. You saw a peak gust of 81 miles an hour. Malibu Hills getting close to 60 miles per hour. In Running Springs, just over 50 mile per hour gusts for you. In Chatsworth, 45 mile per hour gusts. And John Wayne Airport, we saw a gust getting close to 40 miles an hour, again recorded earlier today or late last night. We're still looking at some gusty winds across the area. We have the Santa Ana winds continuing around the general Santa Ana wind prone areas. For instance, around Santa Clarita down to Van Nuys, where we're looking at gusts over 30 miles an hour. Also the Inland Empire, you're seeing right around San Bernardino, where we're looking at a gust currently at 36 miles an hour. So once again, the Santa Ana winds will continue as we head into Saturday and Sunday. So just a reminder, we do have the high wind warnings and wind advisories in effect through Sunday across the area. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about this and also warm up in temperatures next week as well, coming up shortly. For now, over to you, Annabelle.
All right, Steph, thank you for that. Those high winds are creating all sorts of issues in the Inland Empire. NBC4's Christian Cáceres is live in Jurupa Valley with more on the conditions. Wow, Christian, it is really gusty out there.
That's right, Annabelle, and I can tell you we're off the 60 freeway off the Pyrite Street exit, and the strong winds have been consistent here for several hours. I can tell you that you can't just hear the wind, you can also feel it, and you can also see it. Take a look behind me. You can see how the wind is just really blowing everything around, from the trees to the plants, and we've even seen a few baseball hats being blown off from some of the shoppers here as they're walking back to their cars. But the bigger concern here is the wind and what it's causing on the roads. I want to show you some video here. This is cell phone video from one driver that caught a semi truck that flipped over this morning along the 60 freeway here in Jurupa Valley. Now you can see CHP and first responders there on scene, and it's unclear at this point how this happened or if the driver was injured, but there was a traffic backup because of it. Now I want to show you a different situation here. This is also another semi truck that was caught on camera there that flipped over on the 15 freeway in Fontana. That big rig there veered off the freeway around lunchtime. Now that driver didn't want to speak to us on camera, but said he lost control due to the strong gusts. San Bernardino County Fire tells us they have responded to weather-related calls today, mainly due to down power lines. But they say today is a great reminder to be extra vigilant when you're behind the wheel.
And with these winds, specifically the gusts have the ability to move even sedans, from one lane to the next. So make sure this is one of those times where distracted driving can really have a significant impact. Have two hands on the wheel, anticipate those gusts. Do your best to stay in your lane and be aware of what might be happening in your adjacent lanes.
And again, Annabelle, that's just great advice there for a day like today, where conditions are expected to continue through tomorrow. But another piece of information to pass along, authorities are asking the public to call 911 and report any fallen trees, any down power lines, or even debris on the road. Hopefully that will prevent any damage or injuries. But again, you can see and you can really feel the strong winds, at least out here in the Inland Empire, and it will continue like that for the next several hours. We are live in Jurupa Valley. Christian Cáceres, NBC4 News.
Some great advice there, Christian. Be careful. All right, new cell phone video captures the moments before an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis. Today, state and local officials called on the FBI to work together in this investigation, something they say the FBI has refused to do. NBC4's Ted Shen is live in the newsroom with today's developments. Ted.
Annabelle, NBC News has obtained what appears to be video shot on the cell phone of an ICE agent moments before the fatal shooting of Renee Good. It appears to show interaction between Good, who is in the SUV, Good's wife, and the ICE agent who allegedly shot her, identified by Homeland Security as Jonathan Ross. We want to show you the video, but we want to warn you it is disturbing.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Local, state, and federal officials continue to disagree over who should be part of the investigation into the killing of 37-year-old Renee Good. The ICE agent who shot Good, identified by Homeland Security as former Border Patrol officer and Iraq vet Jonathan Ross. The local district attorney today asking for cooperation after the FBI allegedly refused to share evidence.
Our efforts in advocating for a joint investigation is not an attack on the FBI. We have had a strong working relationship with the local FBI field office throughout my administration.
The DA rejected Vice President J.D. Vance's claim that Ross has absolute immunity from prosecution.
To be sure, there are complex legal issues involved when a federal law enforcement officer is involved. But the law is clear. We do have jurisdiction to make this decision.
He's not immune from prosecution. If a federal officer shoots and kills somebody without justification, he's liable both on the basis of federal and state law, and you could be sentenced to a federal prison term and a state prison term.
Acting U.S. Attorney from the Central District of California, Bill Asaley, weighing in.
If you disagree with our immigration laws, go to Congress. Congress writes the laws. You do not get to argue with that with our officers on the street.
In a statement, Good's wife described Renee Good as someone who sparkled and was made of sunshine, and that kindness radiated out of her. Live in the newsroom, I'm Ted Chen, NBC4 News. Annabelle, back to you.
All right, Ted, thank you very much for that update. Right now, millions of people have taken to the streets in Iran, protesting in hopes of a regime change. And today, dozens of Iranians in Southern California gathered to show their support. This protest took place outside the Sherman Oaks Galleria. The unrest is due in part to inflation and political oppression in the country. And this week, authorities cut off internet telephone lines in the country. Protesters say they need to speak up for those being silenced.
I'm here to be their voice. I'm here to be their voice. I know you don't have your voice right now because regime shut down your voice. But I'm here to be your voice and say regime change in Iran.
NBC4's Alex Rosier will have more on the unrest and the protests in a live report, and that's coming up at 4. Meantime, community organizations marked 1 year since the Eaton fire by speaking out for immigrant workers who are helping families rebuild. Groups who advocated for day laborers say many are scared to go to work out of fear they will encounter federal immigration agents. NBC4's Brittany Hope is in Altadena with their demands.
We are told that thousands of day laborers have been working in LA's fire zones over the past year, and groups who advocate for them say that federal immigration enforcement has been holding back that work, and they want all of those operations in LA's fire zones to stop.
4, 3, 1. Today we're here at in Altadena where a home was burnt down.
I have 2 lots side by side here that were my home for 31 years.
Hey. All the debris has been cleared, but we know that the dirt is still contaminated. So we want to make sure that when people come back home, that they're safe in town. So that's why workers from the Pasadena Community Job Center, along with community members and community orientations, are here to